but he must have just been delayed for one reason or another. So we'll just pick it up where we left off the last game, where everyone was heading back from the hotel after recovering Alexia and are heading back to the Days Inn. And due to we'll just kind of expedite that evening. You guys kind of get back in. It was almost dawn. There's not a lot of this time for discussion. Lucian's already turned in for the evening. Most of the other vampires have as well. So everyone goes to their respective rooms or makes double time to the places they're staying while in Providence. But the sun will set, and then the sun will rise, and everyone can spend the blood for me as we move into the next evening. To juggle the player swap out, during that early evening, Rufus is sent away by Lucen back to Boston to take care of some business regarding to the Sabbat. They seem to be getting overwhelmed and they need a hand, so she sends Rufus back to Boston to take care of that. There's a little bit of an undercurrent that she's uncertain of his ability to handle this problem, so it's not a pleasant assignment. This isn't a go-to kind of situation. He's kind of being punished. This is a show of distrust, and he leaves immediately. And at the same time, Natalia returns, having basically dealt with some Nosferatu business, dealings for her sire, just things that couldn't be ignored even for being an Archon, which is just part of the deal of getting access to the large Nosferatu information network, is occasionally the information agent has to go and take care of things. So she's returned with just greater information of the Havens, much of what Priscilla had already collected. The Nosferatu kind of confirmed. There's a couple holes on either side that one report fills where the other one kind of misses, but the Nosferatu one is much more extensive, as they had a lot more people to work with, where Priscilla was only one lone ghoul with a lot of coffee. The few evenings that pass from recovering Alexia are just the basic plan of how the clearing is going to be taken care of. Everyone will be assigned individuals. They'll be given a hit list. After the collective coterie kills the prince's cadre, as Prince Castor has surrounded himself with a fair amount of security, that once the prince is destroyed, and that's like guaranteed, the coterie will split up and they'll be taking care of a list, and that they'll be, of course, the priority from top to bottom, and there are certain ones that need to be killed before news spreads, before the night ends, and then there's lesser priorities as it kind of goes down. These lists will be kind of given out to everybody. It seems with Rufus gone, Natalia, being a fairly capable warrior, will be stepping up to take some of the shouldering some of the brunt for what he was going to be taking care of. So she's got a fair amount of premonition, as does Damien, where Melissa has a lot more of the officers and some of the more well-to-dos throughout the court itself. And Arthur will receive similar instructions, some primogen, given his discovery of the Tortor primogen, that he'll be assigned to. Him and Damien will be assigned to killing the Tortor primogen. The next few days, besides those basic planning meetings, they're an hour or two. Most of the evenings would be free for the kindred themselves. Is there something any of you guys would like to do with that time or with the information given before the clearing?
I'm gonna at least check out the nightclub one night.
Okay.
Probably feed a couple times just so I'm back up to being
Full.
my full mosquito self.
Fair enough. Natalia? I'm having a hard time hearing Carla. It's like you're in and out. Not any better, unfortunately. It sounds like she's in a cove somewhere, right? And she's talking from the bottom of the sea.
A little bit.
Oh, I think she just had. I know there's a better pair of headphones. She must have just grabbed that other pair again. Let's try that first. In the meantime, what is Melissa up to? Yeah, that's probably what it is. What's Melissa doing with the time? Anything in particular? I think Grace is not there anymore.
She might be frozen.
Looks that way. I don't think anyone can hold their face that still for that long.
And she's muted as well.
Outside. Hey, Grace, you're outside. Oh wait, no, you're just in a really bright room.
Huh?
Never mind.
Yeah, I got my computer froze a minute, so
Okay. I'm not sure. We'll just get rid of that person. I hate to remove you because it seems like it banned you after that, so we'll just leave it there, I guess.
what did you say
I just
while I was
wanted to.
gone?
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know what Melissa might have done with those. Uh, oh, I can hear a really terrible echo.
Yes, let's just say I'm trying to mute my computer while it's not working. So,
Don't you
what
hear me
does
through the
she do?
headphones? Because right now it sounds like I'm on speaker.
You I'm using my cell phone to talk to you right now, but
Uh-huh.
the computer is frozen, but I can't turn it off right now.
Sure. I'm just saying that initially I was hearing an echo, and I can still hear my voice echoing back because.
Yes, I couldn't. I had it since my computer froze. I hadn't logged out of Hangouts online yet, and I
Uh-huh.
can't mute it. I cannot mute it, so you can hear yourself from the computer and from as well. So I'm trying to end every. I'm
Okay. Well, I have
trying
a
to
brilliant
end
suggestion. Why don't
everything.
you just turn off the speakers then? We'll just turn those off.
I tried. It doesn't. It does not work. I tried. It's frozen, so it doesn't. It does not. The buttons are not working.
They're not working at all.
Are not working.
Okay. Well, the echo is
Very
gone.
slowly.
Hang on. Well, the
Very.
echo is gone, which meant that I initially thought what was on speaker, which was your phone, was the cause. So whatever it was is gone now. So it doesn't matter.
For now.
It
So
looked like the other one dropped, so that may have been what it was. Right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, that one family locked out for sure.
Okay.
So Melissa is still gonna keep up acting like a regular neonate. Try to hang out in the nightlife.
Mm-hmm.
Try to say hi try to say hi to people.
Okay. Right on.
People to act more like a typical high society social climber of the high clans.
Sure.
Acting quite normal, just so.
Okay.
Since the list that she'll be given are the ones that she'll see.
Okay. So, what is Natalia doing?
How's my sound? Is it better?
Yes, much better.
Oh, good. Okay. Um, If if Damien needs company or would want company when he headed to the club, she'd do that. She also needs to feed as well, so she would be doing that. And then, how much time is there between? How much
Couple
time are we
days,
talking?
2 days, rough. I think is what I said before. That sounds pretty decent.
And just staking out, learning as much as she can and staking out some of these people that she's supposed to be are on her list.
Lucen flagged the Tordra Primogen as strange after Arthur's discovery of his high-level mask and just the way he was acting. So, if anything, she'd want you to snoop around him if she mentioned it or it seemed obvious what she was trying to do. Lucen would probably ask you, being it was going to be you and Arthur, but just to kind of sneak around and make sure what's up with him or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. She would do that.
Okay. But otherwise, you're going to accompany Damien at least one of these nights to the club. Would it be like is it a little excursion for the coterie? Is everyone going to go up the Pulse?
Sure. Yeah, the Pulse she has in mind. She's going to.
Okay. So we'll say the next evening, everyone can be just down the one blood as we go into the next scene. I don't foresee anything crazy happening, but you never know. But we'll assume you're almost full, and this was part of perhaps hunting was going out and checking out Pulse. Pulse itself is your...
I checked it out already.
Let me just Grace. Let me just finish the description, please. As you guys arrive at Pulse, it is your kind of downtown warehouse nightclub. The outside is very pedestrian, lots of concrete, a long line around, and as you get inside of Pulse, that's where the money seems to come out. It is your 21st century dubstep nightclub, pulsing rhythms that reverberate off the chest, these screeching noises that might make some semblance of music to even the most modern of Vampire, but it does sound a little foreign. It's kind of new. The club itself is very popular. It is difficult to move through the throngs of people. You have to kind of squeeze, although it's surprisingly easy for Damien to make his way through the crowd, as he tends to stand above most of the age group of this crowd. It's probably young college hipsters. So everyone, I believe, besides Melissa, actually looks probably a little out of place. I know Natalia's appearance is a little bit in her, early 30s, if I remember correctly. But it is a gathering place for humans. There are many people everywhere. There is no one spinning currently at the moment. It's just kind of earlier enough in the evening that it's just some background noise and the sound booth or an Apple Mac playing in the background. What would everyone like to do once arriving there?
Well, this is where they told us that Prospero was the owner and spinner, so...
Correct.
Probably ask just a couple questions about Prospero from someone who looks like they know something.
Okay. Well, the club itself, as Grace was saying, Melissa's been here once or twice. She's seen DJ Truth spin. And she's been around enough and moving around enough with the vampires that she'd recognize some of the younger ones in the crowd, so she at least could start conversations that way. But otherwise, it's just kind of like a normal hangout. There's nothing particular about it. The neonates that you do speak to would say that it's not as popular with vampires as it used to be, and there's not a lot of their kind showing up here as much as there used to be. I think a lot of them are scared to show up. So that's kind of the vibe you get from most of them. So, the ones that are here they feel like they're daring to be stupid a little.
So it has nothing to do with this screeching noise and the twerks or whatever it is these kids are doing now?
And so yeah, we'll kind of go into a scene where you're asking that to we'll just call him Michael. He's a finely dressed toreador, lots of rings and earrings. He kind of looks like your typical club-going douchebag, for lack of a better description. It's like, no, man, no, it's nothing about twerking or anything like that. It's just, everyone just likes to come here and. It was usually always hopping, Prospero could spin, and it was great. So, but now no one's coming around. I think everyone's scared. That
I'll ask him again.
YouTube's kind of nuts.
This hopping place, whatever that means.
Well, it's
I
sick.
gather that people are scared of going around.
I would have used sick, but I figured after we're talking for a little while that might have been easier. But I guess that's not any better. What are you from, like the 50s or something?
Yeah, something.
All right. Well, I'm Michael. If you want to buy me around or talk later or something, kind of tries to leave as quickly as possible after that answer.
It's evident I'm not cool enough. I'll tell the other two that accompanied me. I don't get their twerks and music and whatever else have you.
Sure.
The music is rather strange.
That's
That's not even music. That sounds like someone came off the road and crashed into something.
I'm just glad they're not playing rap.
I'm not sure how one
character.
dances to this kind of music.
Well, they are even the younger kindred do seem to be kind of dancing, but it's more this kind of disjointed weirdness. I mean, Melissa, being as in tune as she was and hating rap, she remembers breakdancing and pop locking. And there's a little bit of that going on, but these people aren't even talented. They're just all over the place.
No.
Is it bad that I want to kill them more?
Do you need to roll self-control not to frenzy on the hipsters?
Or since it's dark, just move some. Since it's dark, just use the more shadows.
There you go. Right.
If I started using the shadows, I think we'd be in trouble, though. At least for what I would use them for.
Right. I might notice the black inky tentacles on the dance floor. So like I said, there's a reasonable amount of younger kindred here. Odds are there's at least one or two of them on one of your lists that is here. There's enough of them here that there's probably like good 15 of them here, kindred that can come in and out. And they're implying that there would be much more kindred here on a more typical night. So there would be upwards of like 40 kindred here on a given point, which is a little dangerous. It's a little dangerous.
Position not in town already. Oh my. That's scary.
Yeah. Well, they were kind of off the beaten path and off the radar for a long time, but 21st century has kind of brought everybody back together again.
Yay.
So yay, it's great. So what would you guys like to do in particular at the club? So, like I said, there's a reasonable amount of them there. You can put some names to faces to names on a list. I think that's the only person that might get a little bit might be Melissa. I mean, some of these people, they're nice. They really have nothing to do with the breach of the masquerade. They might be a little stupid, but I don't know if they deserve to die. Damien and Natalia have no such qualms. These people are stupid. They can just.
So Melissa.
Cool. We could throw an after party.
I'm good. I need to look up and survive my nature. Because.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey guys.
Because I don't know.
Hey.
Oh, hello. Oh, hello, Arthur.
Hey, no noise either. It's awesome.
Oh
My
my
mic is moving.
goodness, there is none. Yeah.
Because it's my first move.
Yeah, look at that. It didn't even sound like it was there when it was gone, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Does anyone want to do anything in particular while you guys are there? Do you guys want to hunt? You guys can just get that blood back. It's not a problem. You can just take it. It's cool.
Natalia would definitely hunt and just try and put faces with names if there's, if they're on the list, so that they can identify them again, later.
Melissa was, since Melissa actually had to bring Alexis in, and she feels that she's just a bit stupid, that she's gonna try to hint a bit about being scared, to be a bit careful. There could be vampire hunters. You don't know, stuff like that. Because she's her demeanor.
Mhm. So Natalia's scouting out the kindred, trying to make sure she's got putting the faces to names. Some of them you guys would have had some pictures too. That's the great thing about the 21st century. It's easy to take pictures now. So you had some pictures, but it is, again, there are some names on the list that you would have just had just a kind of an idea, and Melissa would know who they are and can kind of point them out to everybody. The feeling from the crowd is no one's out of place here. If everyone who's there would like to make a perception plus investigation roll, or an alertness, which is ever better.
Investigation.
Investigation would be the better out of the two, so let me know if you end up using alertness. And Jeremy, they had gone to Pulse. Arthur they could have easily told Arthur. They were just making an excursion up to Pulse as a group. They could have easily texted Arthur, or Arthur easily could have been around when that happened. You were just kind of out and about trying to get the computer to work. By all means, if you want to join in the scene, you can. It's not an issue.
Sure, Ada, come along.
That's a perception.
You're just a little lady got caught by traffic. You're kind of showing up now.
Perception alertness, you said?
Perception alertness or perception investigation. Let me know if you use alertness instead of investigation, because investigation will be better.
This is what I got, and I'm hoping it showed up.
Yeah, it did. Let me see if I can get this to work. Okay.
I'm using investigation.
Okay. So it takes out that.
This is investigation as well.
So is mine.
Holy Christ, in the hat, Carla.
Right.
Dan did not bad too.
9.
Sadly, the king, he's all put out because of the traffic. That's what happened.
That must be it.
Well, okay, so...
Or the music warded him away.
Right, all
the
the
twerks and screeching.
Yeah.
And screeching. So, for the basic success, you can get an idea while looking at the crowd that through the introductions you've gotten through the neonates that are here, there are definitely certain individuals or certain groups who are noticing the kindred groups. So the kindred don't mingle a lot. They tend to hang out in clumps together. And it does seem like other cliques, other tribes, other groups of individuals do seem to notice that. So that's the most basic of success, which I think is our king.
Okay.
See, Dan and Grace, I think, have, 3 a pop, looks like, about? Yeah. With the 3s, you can get the sense that these individuals, although dressed like club glowers, the way they're holding themselves, the way they're studying the individuals, they're not here to drink or score. They're here to watch these people. Some of them are pedestrian, or I'm sorry, I keep using that word, or just or mortals, or just humans noticing the vampires, but there is a reasonable amount of those little pockets of people observing the vampires who are clearly not here to listen to the dubstepping or to do the twerking. Yeah, so the one with, is that 6 successes?
Yeah.
You can tell that some of them are trained in like your typical surveillance. So some of them are trained in what you would call like police surveillance, or I don't know how else to describe that. Standard police work or investigation work from like federal governments. Where the other group is how to describe, just people who are just know how to move in a crowd. you would probably classify that as more maybe a criminal who knows how to watch their back or knows how to observe someone without being observed, kind of like that. So someone's more formally trained, and some of them seem to be more naturally gifted. The ones that are more formally trained do have some sort of devices that they seem to either be recording or looking at while they're in the club, and you can notice that. Only a few of them are being as bold as to check something, but you would catch that with 6.
Are they all human?
Yeah, they at least appear to be human, and they all appear to be the right age group for the club.
Can I do an aura check to make sure they're human?
Yeah. I mean, I'll just let you. I mean,
Yeah.
give me a basic roll. It's not something a widespread stuff, but we'll just do the basic ones. You're just trying to catch if they're human or not. So go ahead and give me the perception plus empathy roll.
To point it out, I would read the aura as well.
By all means, go ahead and give me that basic roll. If you want to go ahead and do that too, Melissa, go for it.
Thank you.
Yep. Just for this kind of catch-all, they're definitely human, and with that kind of roll, you can tell that their intent is not pleasant. Here we got Jeremy.
I got 4 successes at a 7 or 2 at a 9.
So the 9, yeah. So I mean, you'll get the same idea. You would at least get to confirm that they're all mortal. None of them are ghouls. Nothing in particular. The ones with do you have 4 successes? Is that how many you have?
I think aura perception is a difficulty 8.
Yep. The ones with Natalia and Arthur get a sense that they're all mortals. Melissa actually gets that sense from a greater sense of maliciousness from them. So they're not watching them because they're enamored or they think they're cool. All right. So with that information, you guys want to do anything else in particular?
Well, Melissa's
Get out of the refrigerator!
Well, Melissa's definitely gonna try to tell everyone else in the coterie that they are very likely human hunters. Maybe to be human hunters, should they get out of Dodge, and then ask should they get out of Dodge and possibly let the neonates in here possibly get caught. We don't have to destroy them, or we take the hard way. Tell them to get out quickly.
Well, as easy as it would be to have the humans do our job for us, that's still a risk to the masquerade, so we may have to take them out as well.
I'm not. It would be harder. It's because they could be from Project Pepper. They are in town after all.
Is it just one particular group that's malicious, since I don't have any way to tell that? Or are they kind of spread out?
It's spread out. It's just kind of confirming their intent.
Melissa herself kind of leans towards running because of what she's used to. And Natalia.
Well, I believe, for the sake of discretion, we should probably, if they're going to take care of some of this job for us, perhaps we should stand back and allow that to happen.
Well, the ground, I think that would be easier. That would be slightly easier for the first, and probably be harder later.
But for the humans to do our job for us, that puts us in danger of breaching the masquerade as well.
It does, because anything that they learn, they could report back to their superiors.
So we were told to do this quickly and efficiently. I'll go ask Michael. Michael worked there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had connections in there. He's a Toreador, and he knew Prospero enough that he could get in the VIP area and around.
Okay. Well, I have an idea on how to deal with our friends. I'll be right back. And I'll go and ask Michael if maybe he has like a security T-shirt or something like that in the back.
It's like, I don't know. I could probably convince one of the bouncers to give me one. But what are you going to do with the security T-shirt? Is this some sort of, like, kinky blood doll thing or something?
I'll go ahead and let him know that I have some suspicions that there could be a hunter inside the club, and so the best way to quietly deal with it would be to just do as I ask.
So once you say there's a hunter in his club, his eyes, like, go wide. It's like, yeah, the best way for us to deal with it. Sure.
The greater
Let me just. Why don't you, if you want to convince him to do that, give me a charisma plus subterfuge roll or intimidation roll, depending on how you're telling him to do it. Because he's looking like he's just going to run.
Typical Toreador fighting style.
You know.
So that's charisma subterfuge.
All right.
I think 2 successes?
Yeah.
Or is it an 8?
No, 7's fine. So you know, you're like, this is the best way to handle it. It's like, yeah, you're probably right. If we like panic and run, it's like a predator, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. I got this. And he like kind of disappears for a little while. And he goes over to like one of the bouncers. He puts his arm around him. He's like talking to him. You know, he flashes some cash. And the guy just kind of shrugs and he just leads him into the back. And within a few minutes, you see him come back with like a black security T-shirt. He goes, "Here you go. I don't know how this is going to work, but you seem like you got a plan."
It'll work out. So I'll go into a side room and I'll change into the security T-shirt and head back to the table and ask which ones particularly look malicious to you.
Does Melissa remember which one's which?
Yeah, and I mean the idea was that within each group you could tell that their intent was not nice. So I mean any of them would be bad, and there's not necessarily going to be one who's more malicious than the others. Again, it was really kind of like, yeah, those people over there, they don't seem to be having warm, fuzzy feelings about the kindred. No one was more mad than another.
But I could tell. Okay, Natalia can tell who's trained,
That distinction Natalia could help you with, who was trained and who seemed to be street level.
Yeah, I could give him that. I could give him that guidance as far as dealing with them. Which ones are professionals versus not?
The formal ones are the ones who are recording you, so in some ways that might be the priority.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, anything with recordings, I can take care of that because they can't record me.
Don't show up on it. Well,
So
that's also the danger to you, actually.
So Damien's going to wander over to what seems to be a young couple in their early 20s, and that's the individuals that Natalia had pointed out was definitely had some sort of recording device.
Well, I did have a plan for this.
Mm-hmm.
We have some ghouls in here, don't we?
Not with you.
Lance
is here, probably. He's like always with him, so they got Lance.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, is specifically
fair enough,
Melissa's and Arthur's.
Priscilla's probably sleeping somewhere, but Arthur is probably here.
Okay.
Yeah, I told Melissa told Priscilla to go sleep.
Yeah, if Lance would like to casually go over there and like bump into one and drop his drink and start a fight, then I can deal with it.
I tell Lance to go purchase himself a beverage and spill it on one of the guys with the cameras.
I'll be perfectly fine footing the bill, my lord.
As you will, New Age. And he very proudly walks over to the bar, which takes a little longer than he was anticipated because he's a guy in a nightclub.
Yeah.
So he ends up pushing people out of the way because it's just taking too long. And when the bartender tries to ignore him, and he just kind of like slams his hand on their head and just kind of tells him to come over, and gets a drink and heads back over to these individuals. And Lance's ability for subtle acting is not the strongest. But he does manage to start to fight. As Lance walks over, he basically just has the drink, and as he's walking past them, just uses the drink in between them, and it's really obvious that he does this. Right? So it's like he uses their body to spill the drink as he walks by them. And he just like gets really upset and mad, like, he's starting to get all on their face, and the guy is trying desperately to like diffuse the situation, and the girl's just getting kind of irate at him, like, it's clearly your fault, this is kind of what's going on. And this has started to happen, and of course, as much as this guy's like body language is trying to diffuse it, Lance is just getting more and more riled up. You can just tell from a distance. Damien can tell that there are other security people who might be moving to intercept. Now might be the time.
Yep, I will make my way over there, and
Okay.
it's a couple.
Yeah, it's like a young couple.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I will.
So Lance is like, "It's your fault, man. What the fuck? I don't give a shit what you're saying. You clearly knocked over my goddamn drink." He's like, "I didn't do anything like that. Calm down. You clearly knocked it into me. I don't know what the hell is your fucking problem, guy. Can I just buy you another drink?" That's kind of where you intersect.
Yeah.
And
So
she's just like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you." She's just screaming at the guy.
So I'm going to put a hand on Lance, and I'm going to put a hand on the other guy, and I'm like, all right, outside, all three of you.
Like, hey, I had nothing to do with it. This is this asshole. And Lance's like, "Yeah, let's go outside." He's like, dragging him away.
So this place has a back door, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but I mean, you could easily go out the front. People are getting out of your way once they see your security T-shirt.
Yep, that was the plan.
So pretty much as you're hauling two people out of the club, people part your way, and there's other security guys who kind of look at you like you're the new guy or something, but you got a shirt on, so they just help you get people out of the way. It's kind of that simple. And you lead them outside. There's a bit of a line out there still, and you guys can, Lance, like, kind of muscles him over to the alleyway so he's out of sight. So I'm taking him over here, come on, be a fucking, like, pussy, and he's like kind of dragging him over.
I'm going to make an effort not to just appear ungodly strong as I'm kind of leading these people outside.
Lance is definitely looking like he's got the rough angle, the rough control of this situation. Now you're just kind of letting him beat the shit out of this guy and just kind of controlling the chaos out of the club is kind of what it looks like basically at this point.
Yeah.
So people are like kind of laughing and pointing and taking pictures.
I'm going to do my best to... No pictures, please. No pictures.
No pictures. And people are like, yeah, and of course you're going to get some confused looks at their phones as you kind of go around the corner. Oop. So Lance is like, taking off his jacket. He's like playing his part. You're dead, motherfucker. You're dead.
I'm going to let him know he needs to cool his jet.
This was like, now the woman at this point has moved down the way a little bit and is talking on her cell phone. What are you doing, Damien?
Well, one, I'm gonna take the cell phone.
Okay. You walk over and she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna." And as soon as you start walking over, she gets really quiet, and then you just take the cell phone from her, and she tries to take it from you, but you have 6 foot.
That's not
just like,
Intimidating.
It doesn't really need to. You can just take the phone. It's fine.
So I'm going to do my best parental voice to be like, we don't appreciate you coming in here causing trouble, taking pictures and stuff. There's no flash photography in there.
Yeah, that's my cell phone, asshole. You can't take my cell phone. There's no flash photography. Fine, no flash photography. I'll delete whatever I've got on there or whatever. Just give me my fucking phone back.
No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to break it in two and throw the pieces somewhere.
Is that what you're doing? You're just going to like snap and just kind of toss it?
I'll do my best human look to. Does it flip open at all, or is it just one solid?
Or like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a smartphone.
Yeah.
Throw it on the ground and step on it.
I mean, he's got enough potency, he could just like fold it in half, but that'd be a little bit bad. So you
Yeah,
just toss it really hard
I'll
against
just
the
put it on
wall.
the ground and
Crush it.
crush my foot on it.
Okay.
Oh.
You put enough oomph behind it to make sure it does kind of snap really nice and good, and kind of shatter plastic and slick metal goes everywhere.
Excellent.
It's like-
Got something else smart to say, lady?
No, we're fine, thank you. As Lance is proceeding to beat the shit out of this guy behind you as you're talking.
All right, I'll point at the woman and let her know. It's like, we don't want to see you here ever again. I will pull Lance dutifully off of this other guy and
Okay,
commend
you
him
get it.
for his spirit.
Yeah, he's like kicking him a couple times. You're like, okay, that's fine, all right.
I'll search him for a cell phone as well,
Yeah.
or some kind of recording device.
Yep, he's got some sort of earpiece listening device, some sort of audio listening device.
Ooh, take that.
Oh, interesting. So that's mine now.
She's just like, this woman's just watching you do this and just kind of. She doesn't seem.
Too worried about her boyfriend?
No, she doesn't seem scared either. She's just kind of watching it happen.
Ooh, the lady.
Yeah, the lady.
Yeah, we'll take the devices and we'll get rid of it
Okay.
in the usual smashy kind of way.
Okay.
So I'll tell Lance to get lost, assuming he's going to go in the back again and just meet back up with Arthur.
Yeah, fuck you, guy. And he walks away. Yeah, he just goes. He can't go back in the club, so he has to kind of wait at the car now.
Well, he can go back in. We just have to get rid of these.
He can't go back in. No, he can't go back in after that big like hoo-ha going out. There's no way he can get back in the club.
I'm security.
You're gonna let him back in?
I'm gonna let him back in.
Okay. Well, there's like a huge, like as you walking back in, there's like and then there's like everyone in line complains. Fuck you guys.
I'll let him know we have 2 occupancy and the first 2 can go in.
They shut up and like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're cool, whatever. They go right in.
Yes, I am cool. Thank you.
I understand you're twerking. So you walk Lance back in, and he's complaining, yeah. And of course, as soon as he goes back in, he kind of becomes more stoked again. Thank you, my lord. I appreciate the support.
Thank your liege lord for offering providence of.
They kind of just nod and head over there and head back to Arthur. It is done, my king.
Thank you. Hopefully you do not need to fill yourself too much.
Anything for you, my liege.
Indeed.
I'll let the couple know to beat it, and if I see him again, we're gonna have problems.
I assumed that when you walked away and just walking, then you just said something to that, and sure, she as soon as you started walking away, she ran over to that to the guy on the ground. What are you guys gonna do while the beatdown is going on outside?
Well, Melissa's actually gonna take a look at the other group and see how they're reacting.
Give me a perception plus alertness. What's everyone else doing?
Arthur's going to find one of the gentlemen with the recording devices, and he's going to start a conversation with him that will drive him irreversibly insane.
Well, they did manage to take care of the only ones with the recording devices. Those guys are ousted, though you can find some other ones that seem to have a lot more formal training.
Yeah, would I know which ones they were without, like, are
Yeah, that wouldn't be so difficult. Natalia would inform Arthur without any difficulty. That's the information you guys were passing back and forth.
then I would find the one that looks the biggest, and I would start having a conversation with him about the glories of Camelot that would drive him insane.
Okay.
Dementation, pretty much.
Go ahead and give me that roll.
All right, let me pull that up. I want to see which power I'm going to use. Okay.
What's Natalia doing?
I'd step into the shadows, like, so I can't be seen, and then bring up mask so that I can go. I just want to wander and listen to some of the conversations of some of these people.
Okay.
that are watching and see if I can figure out who they are and what they're doing here.
All right. Go ahead and give me a where we go, a Dex plus Stealth roll to maneuver the crowd. I'm sorry, what was Melissa doing? While these two were doing this?
She's gonna scrutinize the other groups, the groups that are not formally trained, to see how they react. I want to see if they're working together, or if they actually are hunters, or if they don't care.
With that roll, they do seem to notice the fact that you've noticed another group. So there's a bit of acknowledgement there. With that particular roll, however, you actually recognize some of the people in that crowd.
Ah! Melissa's gonna try her best to get out.
All right, that's not too hard.
Out of the back. She will want to get out of the back.
Okay, that's probably not hard. Not for her.
And going to go sit down. Go sit down near the back. And wishing that she has off escape.
Okay. So with that stealth roll, you wanted to get what information were you looking for exactly again?
Just listening to their conversations, seeing if they're giving anything away about why they're there and what they're about, and who they are.
When you're stealthing around, they don't seem to be discussing coterie business or organizational business or anything of that nature. However, one group does actually tip off something about their nature. It seems that Melissa recognizes someone in one of the crowds, and they recognize her. And as soon as she attempts to leave, that particular group that's observing the kindred seem to really only be interested in her, and they leave after her.
Oh, well, I make sure I follow them out then, so that she doesn't have to deal with them by herself.
That's considerate of you.
Thanks. So.
Looks like.
I'm gonna try to hide myself in the crowd again.
Okay. Give me a Dex Stealth. What's the difficulty on that, Jeremy?
The difficulty is their current willpower points.
Oh, dear God. Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. Then I've got a lot of willpower. So you talking about Camelot, and what's this delusion that you want them to share about it, or fear, or what have you?
Basically, if the roll is successful, the victim is afflicted with 5 derangements of the storyteller's choice.
Could you repeat that? You kind of got robot-y.
If it's successful, the victim is afflicted with 5 derangements of your choice, and they are going to be in relation to the magic of Camelot no longer being present in the world, and this means the end of the world to them.
Okay. And you need to talk to them to do this power? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
I must undivided for at least one full turn.
Okay. So you go over to one of them that seems to be kind of observing the individuals, one of the bigger ones. He does seem to be with a couple individuals. Does it affect a group or just one person at a time?
It is one. This one is one person at a time, and one success is one turn, 2 successes is one night, 3 successes is 1 week. Is how long it lasts.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be 3 at this point. So I don't have a lot of pull for 5 separate arrangements around Camelot not being present in the world anymore. But let's just say his ability to process reality is gone.
Okay.
He's likely, we're talking, do you want to go comical or do you want to go bad dark with this guy? Is he like gibbering in the corner? Is he wearing a trash can thinking he's a knight of the round table? How would you like this guy to
it would have been
a vibe?
is to make him basically drain his will to live. So
Okay.
the dark, creepy, what's going to get you in the night sort of terror.
Fair enough. Yeah, he'll just curl into a ball, and that like when you're done talking to him, he just sits down like on the dance floor, and then eventually just curls into a ball and just goes completely catatonic.
Yeah.
Like, just curls up into a fetal position. The individuals that seem to be with
Security's
him.
busy tonight.
I'm sorry.
I said security's very busy tonight.
Yeah. The individuals who are with him are confused by how or what is going on. However, they do actually kind of know something is up with you, and so they pull guns and shoot Arthur.
Yikes.
Because my next power that I'll do on my first turn of initiative gets to affect a whole group.
All right, we'll do that next. And that was her disappear into a crowd. Natalia, give me a perception plus awareness, or I'm sorry, alertness to keep up with Melissa as she disappears.
Okay.
And go ahead and give me an initiative roll,
Okay.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be a 11.
11, okay. So, Melissa successfully disappears into the crowd. You lose track of her, Natalia, but you don't lose track of them.
Okay.
They seem to have lost her as well.
Okay.
But you're at least tracking them as you guys are going to go through the club. And Melissa's, with that role, you merge through the club, you find some waiters or some people going into the back, and just kind of walk with them with purpose and get out the back door without too much difficulty.
And I'm just gonna text. I'm gonna text everyone else about it when I got to the car.
Okay. Well, we'll go to initiative round because Natalia might want to do something with those guys as they panic with the craziness that's happening elsewhere. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if
So
somebody
Lance, I think it goes, then it's Arthur, then them. So they're going to shoot you, given that they're pretty sure that you're a demon spawn and you just did something really fucked up to their fucking boss. So they're going to shoot you, because that's not cool. That's their initiative, and like I said, they go the third order. So what would you like to do as Lance goes before you?
Oh yeah, I never rolled Lance. I assume you
I got him. He's like I think he's at 17. Have I got him right? Because it's 3. I think he's at 3 wits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's 17. So he's well below you. So what are you doing before Lance?
Actually, Lance is wits too.
Wits 2. Okay. So he's only 16. My apologies.
Yeah. I'm going to do Voice of Madness.
Okay.
By merely adjusting my victims aloud, I can drive them into fits of blind rage or fear, force them to abandon reason and higher thought. I roll manipulation plus empathy, difficulty 7. One target is affected for success, although all potential victims must be listening to the vampire's voice. I'm going to have to shout this shit.
Okay.
And I will also be spending a willpower point to ensure that I don't botch.
Okay. Would this affect everybody? You can't really pick who gets affected? It just affects a certain amount of people? Do I understand that correctly?
It doesn't specifically say, but I would assume that anybody listening.
Okay, fair enough. That's I just wanted to get that distinction. All right, given that Lance what would Lance's protocol be when it comes to something like this? When you're doing a crazy power like this, you'd have some sort of response worked out with him. What would his directives be?
His directive would be if anybody pulls a weapon on me, he is them in the eye.
Okay, so that's what he'll do. He'll do it to the first one who came at you.
Yep. He has to have no mercy.
I'm sorry?
He has to have no mercy and accept no surrender.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
What's his melee? Oh, you got it. Go ahead and roll for it, man.
You mean firearms?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said stick him in the eye, or I'm sorry, shoot him in the eye. By all means, shoot him in the eye.
Get him. I think you got him in the eye.
Yep. That's 2, 3. All right. So shoots him in the face, cuts across his cheek, blood kind of gushing down, and he kind of recoils back, gripping his face. Then.
That wasn't the damage. That was just to shoot him.
Oh, I know. The damage is like what, 4, right?
5 plus net successes.
I'm sorry. I'll roll one more. Yeah. So the roll I did was I just grabbed it real quick. I apologize. Was only 3 damage.
Okay.
And that was the last one, so that would only be there. So it injured him across his face, but that's about it. Now, of course, is the crazy time roll.
This should be fun.
What's he shouting?
He is shouting that all will behold the glory of the king, and they will debase themselves on their knees, or they will die. And that is a manipulation plus empathy. Note to self, raise my empathy. And I spent the willpower point as well. 1 success.
Hey!
I also have to roll to see if I succumb to Rothstrike myself. But my difficulty is 1 lower than normal, so difficulty 5, I assume.
It's 1 lower than normal?
Yeah. My difficulty is, not theirs.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I frenzy.
Nope. You do need I don't know if they have that rule anymore. I'll double check that. We'll assume for right now you at least push it off. Normally you had to collect 5 to put it down entirely, but we'll see for right now. That's fine. I'll have to look that up.
I would have to roll next turn as well.
Okay. So yeah, they I assume go into fear. Is that what's happening, or are they going to go into anger?
Whichever I choose blind fear.
Okay. So and it says anyone who can hear you, huh?
Yep. It says I address my victims aloud, but I assume that means if other people can hear me, it's whoever probably would have the lowest willpower, maybe.
Yeah. So once you do that, the individuals in horror drop their guns and immediately run through the crowd. There are a few others off your peripheral who also someone passes out, a woman like kind of tears through the crowd itself. Some guy next to you as well just starts screaming over and over and over and just doesn't seem to be able to stop. But the hunters in question, they definitely ran for the door.
Excellent.
Okay. Given all that information, the hunters that are following Melissa, they also begin to leave the way they came. What does Natalia do?
I'm going to observe the crowd, make sure no one is filming, taking pictures of any sort.
Everyone's filming and taking pictures of practically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great. Does it have a supernatural? In my opinion, does it have a masquerade breach-ish sort of look to it?
It's weird as shit, but nothing
supernatural.
As I used to joke, nothing decisively supernatural happens. Nothing really unexplainable. People are acting strange after he said something, but
Okay. All right, I'm not gonna worry about it then. I'm gonna just follow these hunters out and see where if they're heading, leaving, or if they're gonna continue to look for, continue to look around and try and find their prey here.
okay. As you're heading out is about the time when Damien and Lance are heading back in. As you guys are heading back in, you hear gunfire from inside, and you're heading back in, and the crowd pulse is now clearing out. There's kind of a little bit of mass hysteria, and you guys are getting your way in. Natalia will see them fighting their way in. You can initially have to stop for them or not, but you can see Damien and Lance getting their way back in. Or they actually, I'm sorry, they already come back in. I'm getting that all mixed up. So the club is emptying out at this point. So what is Damien doing, since I got that all mixed up?
Standing in the front door, not letting people out since there was gunfire.
Okay. That becomes a bit of a trick, as you'll end up causing like a bit of a stampede initially. Some of the bouncers in the back just tell them to let him go, let him go. The people who did the shooting aren't here anymore.
Where did they go?
One of the guy in the front kind of pointed to the direction. That's where Natalia is essentially going, just for metagame stuff. But they just saw them kind of leave in that general direction, kind of running down the street.
Out the street in the back?
This would be again the hunters that were just facing Arthur. So they ran out the front.
Okay, because that was where I was walking in with.
Right, but I actually got that mixed up. We were actually already in because Arthur had talked to him and Lance just shot him. I just forgot to ask you what you were doing.
I just figured I was kind of playing the security guard still at the front after I walked Lance in. And
that's fine, and you can try to stop people initially, but I see what you're saying. You're going to try to catch them as they go by. The flood of people will make that a little difficult. Why don't you give me a strength, brawl, or athletics, depending on how nice you want to be?
Probably not very nice.
All right, go for brawl. I assume that's better. So around this point, everyone gets a text from Melissa saying that she got out the back and is in her car and is trying to get the hell out of here. What is Natalia doing with that information?
Do I text?
I would assume she does. Too many of the younger Nosferatu probably text. She probably understands what texting is.
Probably. All right. I'm just going to continue I'm going to follow these guys with my mask up and see where they're headed and make sure that they're not, coming back around.
Okay. Well, eventually
they'll make more mischief.
They'll eventually get into. You're fine. They'll eventually get into a car parked down a couple blocks and vacate.
Okay.
I assume you'll take the normal kind of license plate general stuff to kind of track them, but.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
How many of them were there?
The ones following Grace. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Melissa.
Yeah.
There are 5.
Okay.
So a reasonable amount.
That's me spending a blood point.
Okay. You're right. If you spend a blood point, it's automatic.
Yeah, then let's do that.
Okay. So you get in the doorway and just kind of hold your arms out and become an immovable object. People still kind of sneak in and around you still because they're panicking, and eventually there's this kind of crushing noise as people start kind of like crushing in on each other as you hold like a throng of mob back with 6 potents essentially as this crowd is pushing to try to get out of the club. You're holding them back. Now these bouncers that are outside are just screaming at you to let them go, like, what the fuck are you doing? And they're going to try to pull you off of them, but since you spent for potents, they have really no chance in hell of moving you. So they're trying to pull you off, and this crowd is trying to hold you back. Now, this is even for you, is pushing the length of your opponents. Holding back an angry mob at a club and then having a couple bouncers on you, it's getting a little difficult to do it all.
Newton's first law, bitches.
Okay. And it's beginning to look a little suspicious.
It's more I'm looking for the hunters, because the hunters were running,
They're
correct?
gone, right?
No. He's blocking them through, and essentially, as they come into the crowd from the violence, he sees them trying to push through the crowd to get through. They're a little bit more determined to get through as they are under supernatural fear. So they're just pushing people out of the way, and he knows what they look like, so they're coming through.
Those are the ones that I'm planning to grab to keep from going out, and I'll unblock the door for everybody else.
Okay. Give me as soon as that happens, give me a strength plus athletics to hold your ground as an onslaught of fearful humans pushes against you and tries to get the hell out.
That is strength athletics, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With 3, you can basically keep on your feet. Give me a dex brawl to grab them.
Dex.
What's Arthur doing while this is all going down?
Laughing maniacally.
Okay, fair enough.
This is where they get to see his Malkavian madness, pretty much.
So are there two different, the group I'm following and the group he's holding back, those are two different groups?
Yep, Damien's holding back the individuals who Arthur was throwing down with. Natalia had followed the people that were on Melissa.
Gotcha.
There was literally like a couple different groups of people watching the Kindred in that club. It was pretty bad news. Okay.
Arthur will head towards the door in the direction of the people that were running, along with Lance, and he will pull out his pistol, which is a light pistol.
Okay. All right, and that was your athletics roll?
That was Dex athletics, or Dex and Brawl, sorry.
Dex and Brawl, okay. Okay. You can easily grab one of them. Getting them both would have been a little difficult, but you can grab one of them without too much difficulty. This man is way too, we'll call it the guy with the cut on his face, was way too panicked after getting shot and supernaturally feared. You just grab a hold of him. The other one slips by you with the throng. It's just kind of too much.
It's going to be the one.
But you got that asshole. And pretty quick after, Arthur and Lance come out with the throng of humanity.
I caught your fish, my lord.
Natalia can show back up. The bouncers are like screaming at him and they're pissed. What the fuck's your problem, man? What's your problem? You're fucking fired. Get the fuck out of here. You know, like one of the head bouncers is like firing you. They're really hostile. They don't really want you staying out in front of the club anymore. And you have some dude in your hand. The cops are showing up. What's everybody doing?
I was bringing the dude that got shot inside.
Bringing him back into the club?
Yes.
Okay.
Away from the peoples.
When we start to hear sirens, both Lance and Arthur will put their pistols inside their jackets.
It's a safe assumption the cops haven't showed up. There's no sirens, but there was gunfire. The cops will be here in a couple minutes.
All right, well, since they're not here yet, I'm going after the guy that got past.
They got what?
I'm going after the guy that got past Damien and Lance is coming with.
Okay, go ahead and give me a Dex plus athletics or streetwise, whichever is better.
Athletics it is. There's for Arthur and for Lance. For Lance, it is going to be streetwise, so. Lance got a much better roll. He got 4.
So you actually Arthur actually loses Lance in this guy, since he only got one, and you needed 3 to even keep up. Lance seems like he's going to overtake him as you lose them. It looks like he was gating on him just ever so slightly, but you lose him pretty fast as he's going. Basically, he's weaving in and out of these alleyways, moving through traffic, which makes him somewhat easy to hear. But he seems like he's trying to use the nightlife to his advantage.
Okay.
So you can keep on them, but you're just going to need to give me another roll to see if you can catch up.
Okay.
What's Natalia doing as Damien takes his dude back into the club? And I assume Melissa's just heading back to
look if can she hear the gunshot, by the way?
No, she would be gone by that point. Okay.
Then she would have no way of knowing the cops are coming.
Okay.
Oh wait, but then can she see the group that Natalia was on and that were chasing her?
No, you were pretty much concerned about getting the hell out, so you've gotten the hell out.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
That's all good.
Yeah.
What was Natalia doing?
I'm just gonna stand unobtrusively outside the club and watch this whole him dragging that person back in and seeing when the cops get here, just kind of seeing if she needs to step in when the authorities get here or if he's going to be able to kind of wrap it up before that happens.
The crowd outside there's a lot of lingering and finger pointing and people are talking. There's more people, of course. Most of the club is now outside of the club itself. There's no one in there. And so there's all this humanity like filling the street. There's a bit of a traffic problem as people as the cars are trying to get by. It's a bit of a hubbaloo. And now you're going to hear the sirens in the background.
Okay.
Damien, as you head into the club, still with security shirt, you're still kind of getting by people. People are like, "What the fuck are you doing with this guy? Get the fuck out of here! You can't be in here right now."
I don't think I'm going to pay attention to them.
Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You can't be in here right now. You can't do this.
Is it other security guards that are telling me that?
Mm-hmm. Like just another security guy.
I mean, he can come with me if he wants. I could make that happen.
Well, he's talking to you. What is Damien saying?
I'm just going to push past him.
Like, dude, you can't fucking be in here right now. You need to get this guy the fuck out of here. What's the problem?
Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and just backhand this guy because he's irritating.
Mm-hmm. So you backhand him. You slap him. You do like a point of damage, I assume, or how hard are you hitting him?
I'm not planning on doing it super hard, just having him come to his senses, and I'm going back to the room where my clothes were with the guy. So
when you slap him, as much as Damien thinks that this man is affronting him and that should bring him back to his senses, the external view is some random guy in a security shirt is dragging some asshole who just shot someone and bleeding back into the club when he's supposed to be out. So you slap him to slap some sense into him, and he just looks pissed. And he promptly gets in front of you and says, "I don't know who the fuck you are, but you need to get the fuck out of the club. I don't know who fucking hired you or what the fuck's happening, but you're fucking dead, man. Get the fuck out of here. You can't be doing this." He tries to grab the guy from you. The fuck are you even doing with this guy?
Is there anybody else actually in the club right now?
There's probably a couple people in the bar, some bartenders, maybe some like what you assume to be either staff or security in the background, kind of like moving around. You can kind of hear people moving. But as you guys are making this noise, people are noticing you. But he seems to be the only security guy on you right now.
Okay. Let's go ahead and just punch him this time. I'm not letting them take this guy.
Punch him. We won't have to roll for it. You can pretty much knock him unconscious. But the problem is there's at least 10 to 15 people watching you knock him unconscious, and a group of individuals now come over to you. Like, what is fucking happening? Why are you knocking this guy? I mean, there's just like everybody shouting questions at you and not wanting to know why you're holding this guy and what's happening, and why you're knocking some guy out.
You're gonna let him know this guy pulled a gun. As he tried to get past, he pulled a gun on me. I'm not letting him go anywhere until the cops sort it out.
Well, fine, man, but like, why are you even bringing him back in the goddamn club? And why the fuck did you knock out Tony? What the fuck is your problem? You can bring him back, hell back out here. No one's supposed to be in here right now. The cops aren't going to want to dragging his blood all over the goddamn floor, man. Just get him outside.
I'm going to say with my best southern gentlemanly ways that if they don't watch their language, they're going to meet the same fate as Tony.
So at this point, 2 or 3 of the security guys kind of come around you and go, okay, guy, what's your name? Who hired you?
You can call me Ted.
Okay, Ted. Well, Ted, we don't knock people out. We don't do that. You don't knock the other staff out. I'm glad he had kind of pulled a gun on you, but you don't do this. So he can stay there, and you can stay right here. So when the cops show up, we can tell everybody what's going on. Because I don't think Tony's not going to let you go with a slap on the wrist because you didn't like his shit. So I think you need to stay here, Ted. And who hired you? Did Phil hire you?
I was going to push my way past him. I'm done dealing with this guy. I'm making my way out to the back with this asshole that I still have in my hand.
Okay. They will try to jump on top of you and try to hold you back, but I assume you're not going to let them with potence, otherwise it'd be difficult to knock them away.
Yeah, I can spend the blood point. So yeah, potence.
Okay. So you basically toss them off of you and make for the back, and without too much problem. This guy's been complaining the whole time while you had him in your hand, but he's not going to be able to get loose. He's just kind of become white nose at this point, I'll just assume.
There's too much we can learn from a hunter for me to let him go.
You take him out the back. Where are you going to take him from there?
I'm going to make my way away from, kind of through some back ways up to the car for where we were.
Okay. You move back and move around, and you can get back to your car without too much trouble.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and pop open the door. He can sit right next to me.
Okay. You pop him in and put him in there.
And if he wants to fight, I can knock him out.
Well, he's certainly not going to go quietly.
So pop.
Okay. So you knock him out, throw him in your car, and where are you taking him?
No, were we not taking the same car out to the club?
No, I assume there were some different cars at this point. Otherwise, you have no car, and Melissa just took it. So I'm gonna give you that there's different cars. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'll take him back
more
to.
complex than it needs to be.
The Nosferatu's taking the subway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take him back to my hotel room and text people saying I got one of the hunters and.
Okay, that's easy enough. He's unconscious. You tie him up with some sheets or something. That's not too difficult. Let's see. Melissa had vacated. You probably are there, so if you want to interact with Damien, feel free. Damien brings back a guest who's very much unconscious.
Damien gets back to the hotel.
Mm-hmm. What was Arthur doing again?
Arthur botched his following role, so he's probably lost in the crowd while Lance tries to go after the other hunter.
Right. You will you get lost and eventually get a text from Lance instructing you how to get back to him. It takes you a little bit because you're lost. You don't know really how to use the phone that well, but he sends you a little drop in, and you know how to get to him without too much trouble.
Yeah. Now
but you're
back to him.
Okay. But you're a little busy doing that. What's Natalia doing this as soon as the
I was just watching the front of the clubs when the authorities arrived to make sure that nothing else went badly.
All right. Well,
The cops got there.
Sure. The authorities show up. They seem like they start talking to the staff outside. They immediately head inside. And after they're in there for a few more minutes, they come back out and start talking to some of the people kind of hanging around. And it seems like they split up. So one goes back inside and one starts taking statements outside, and another 2 or 3 cop cars start showing up and doing the same and directing traffic. It's quite the hullabaloo again.
I'm just there making sure there's no talk of strange supernatural things going on to the cops, and if it seems like
but you're really far away from the cops at this point. So
okay.
So I mean you can watch kind of what they're doing, and you can kind of come up and you talk, you hear people's statements, but most of them are just they heard a gunshot, they heard a gunshot. You can't necessarily hear the conversations the cops having on inside unless you actually go inside.
No, that's okay. I'm just more in general, just making sure the tone of the conversations are bland. That it's a gunshot in a club, no big deal. That kind of hullabaloo in that way, not any other talk basically to the cops. And if it seems like it's just cooling down, then she'll head back to the hotel.
Okay.
I might be. That's why I was laughing. I might be taking the subway because it sounds like both cars got taken.
I will point out the person who you might be the most worried about the insanity is inside. The person who was affected by the insanity is inside.
Oh, well, I can make my way.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can make my way back inside and make sure that things are not going wrong.
I'm just trying to give you some advice in that way. You were hanging around making sure that everything was going all right, and I just made the distinction that you wouldn't actually be able to walk inside just using a mask and wander around. Everyone seems to be hearing about a gunshot, but the person who went crazy and the people who went crazy didn't come out. They're still in the club.
Okay. But you're saying I can't get back inside the club at this point?
Not with using a mask, no.
Because
you're just the mask of a normal club goer, and they're not going to let anyone who's a normal club goer back into the club. They're not going to let anybody who's not staff back into the club at this point.
Right. I was thinking vanish in mind's eye, they wouldn't see me at all, right?
But that's vanish, not mask.
Okay. It's fine, one way or the other. If things seem like they're calming down, I'll just head back to the hotel.
Okay. All right. So you guys head back to the hotel. I think at this point, pretty much everyone gathers back without too much difficulty.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. What would everyone like to do at that point?
Did Lance catch the guy, or did the guy get away?
He would have gotten away.
Okay. I will take Lance's report, and then I will find somebody to eat.
Fair enough. Go ahead and give me, I assume you are hunting by means of aggression, or are you just dominating people, or how are you doing that?
I order a pizza
Mm-hmm.
for room service, and then I invite the guy in with Dominate, and I take 2 blood points.
Okay. Fair enough. What would Damien like to do with his captive?
I'll text everybody that I have a hunter I'd like to interrogate. Some of these people with better mind powers than me.
After I'm done eating, I'll join Damien in his room.
Okay.
I'll join him and see if they need anything. I don't really have mind powers per se like that, but
you have connections.
Right.
Right on. So everyone gathers in I guess Damien's room with the hunter who had the cut across his face, the one who got shot by Lance.
I'm sure he's plenty happy to see Lance again.
Oh yeah.
So right now he's unconscious. What would you guys like to do in particular? Hey.
I can wait for him to wake up.
Okay. He'll eventually wake up. What would you like to do?
Well, at this point, since it's just him and us,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So when the guy wakes up, Arthur's gonna have his face this close to the guy, like staring dead in his eyes, just waiting for him to wake up.
So what's the tactic here? Like, what are you guys trying to do with this guy?
He's got a story to tell, and he's going to tell us why he was there and what he was doing.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and give me a charisma plus intimidation to get the story out of him.
If we act as a group, I can add my charisma intimidation to yours, Damien.
By all means.
Here's my roll. That's not too bad. Breathe.
Wow.
I'm pretty happy with mine.
Mm-hmm. So it seems between the both of you looming and telling him how it is, here's how it is as far as what's the situation, he'll spill the beans pretty fast. He just is like a hunter who was with another couple group of other hunters that met off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
As simple as that. They were victims of vampires. It seems like either, like in his particular case, his brother, his younger brother, was killed by a vampire, and they just seemed obsessed with trying to get revenge. And when that video went viral, they were pretty convinced that vampires were in Providence, so they showed up here and started making their way around, and Pulse was the most obvious target to look at first, given what happened with the video.
Well, it sounds like Melissa and Raj have some work behind them.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay, then.
told us everything that he's going to tell us, Damien?
Are you?
I mean, I think if we can get Melissa or Raj to track whatever website this is, that should be easy enough to track where they are, who they are, and there's really nothing else we need him alive for.
Well, we need his phone or something so we can at least see what their Facebook is.
Lance, kill him.
What did you say?
Lance, kill him.
Oh.
Okay. So Lance takes off his head in two swipes, since it doesn't come off first. The first one kind of cuts and splits, and the arterial spray hits the wall, and it makes a nice little red color everywhere as his head kind of tilts to the side, and another swap takes it the rest of the way off.
Wow. Whoa, what?
So,
This was my room.
so the Humanity's 6 vampires just off some dude because he was killing you, or was killing other vampires. Did they feel particularly remorseful for killing this dude? You're not really even sure if he's actually managed to kill any vampires. He didn't even get that far.
First of
As far
all,
as Arthur is concerned, this is preventative, but I'll still roll conscience if you want.
Well, if he doesn't feel sorry about it, he can just lose his humanity. But often a dude that you hadn't even gotten into like what he's done or what had happened, just didn't like vampires and showed up to try to kill them. It's not probably the best reason to kill somebody.
Yeah, as far as Arthur is concerned, it was unfortunate but necessary.
Fair enough. So yeah, unless you want to be particularly sad about it, you can just lose the humanity point. Not a big deal.
Oh, I got 6, 10, 3 for a conscience roll. I feel kind of bad.
But do you really feel bad? That's kind of the thing. It doesn't sound like he does.
Arthur himself would see it as necessary, so I guess it's up to you on that one. He sees him doing the thing that has to be done to protect all
Well,
of them.
sure, and you can So here's the thing. A high humanity is remorsefulness and a sense of empathy. The sense of him wanting to do it just to get it done makes perfect sense, but doesn't really mean he's humane.
That's true. Arthur will be Humanity 5 now.
Okay. How about Grace? Grace, I'm sorry, not Grace. How about Melissa?
Melissa's away. She didn't know that.
Wasn't she in the room?
She's not in the room.
I thought you were in the room. I'm pretty sure you were in the room.
I didn't know. I missed it.
I'm sorry?
I missed it. I'm surprised. I missed it. I'm surprised. I missed it. I didn't know I was in the room. Otherwise, I might have stopped. Might have just.
I'm sorry. Did everyone else have that impression that she was in the room, or was I the only one? I'm sorry.
I thought she was in the room, which is why I asked her about the website thing, so she could track it, because he spilled the beans about the internet. But
that was. It sounds like you're talking to yourself. So I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think so, Grace. Let's be a little bit more mature about that. I think you were in the room when that happened.
Actually, then I would. If I was in the room, I would have stopped it. I actually thought I was not. That's why I said absolutely nothing.
Well, I think it was
also,
a surprise.
Hang
on.
I also got disconnected again, so I missed some.
Hold on. The whole point was that it was a surprise, right? He basically, Arthur, as everyone was talking, just very casually said, "Lance, kill him," and Lance promptly killed him. So it wasn't something you really could have prevented. The whole point is that you were party to him coming here, and the whole point is that your humanity doesn't really lend to being a part of murder like that. So I'm trying to ask her how she would feel bad about it or not. That was it.
About what? Sorry.
His death. Yeah.
He became a blood fountain in the middle of my room.
Why was I in your room? Why was I in your room? Stupid.
It kind of brings the whole feng shui thing together, just...
Yes, the ethereal pattern on the wall helps.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
It brings it all together, like the rug in the room. It brings it all together.
Just
change the whole focal point,
Okay, I would have said, told wanted to tell Arthur. I could have just made him forget.
Okay, so the question again, Grace.
So yes, I do feel bad.
Okay, go ahead and roll this.
Why do you? So I do feel bad. That's why I said she would have yelled, and I'm using, like I said, I disconnected again, so I'm using my phone right now.
Yep.
So I cannot roll. Please roll
What's
2
her
dice for
conference
me.
roll?
Please roll 2 dice for me.
Mm-hmm. So she feels particularly bad, but the roll is not particularly kind for her at the same time. How is she feeling bad about this? How does she feel about it? She's bad, but what's that mean?
I was going to talk. Come on. I was going to talk. Come on. Let me say something. To not be able to be fast enough to stop Lance, to grab Lance's hand to stop him.
Nope. We're past that part. Nope.
So what? That is what she thinks. I could have. What ifs, could haves, things like that.
Okay. So she'll lose a humanity pool.
Why?
Because she's not particularly remorseful.
Why do you think that?
Well, first off, she didn't succeed the roll. Okay? So the roll didn't work. So that means you lose your humanity first off. The way you retain your humanity is by acting conscious, right? It's a stat. This is why I particularly warned you about role-playing a high humanity vampire during the game, is that you'll have these kind of conflicts, that it wasn't just a stat. So in this particular case, the idea of her saying could have, should have, would have, if she could have stopped Lance from doing that, somehow retained humanity, but she would have had no way of stopping Lance from doing it. It was, as you said, a surprise. So the idea is that the conscience role is the idea that you are associating yourself with the murder, and you empower the murder to happen because you helped bring him here. Is the idea.
I did because I did because I'm just with those people. I did not agree. It was not my car that brought him here. Also, this was not the group that was chasing me, so... This was not the group that was chasing me, but sure.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to be more particular about the meta level. The simple fact is you also failed the roll. So...
I don't mind that I failed the roll. That's all. I just said that it was not clear I was in the room at all. At all, because it was not my room. I did not come back here with them, so I'm actually surprised that I'm here in the same room.
Okay, well then I guess we'll just kind of move on from this point, because I don't think...
That's the circumstances. It was not really clear because, as is probably obvious, I keep on disconnecting on my laptop. So yes, I'm gonna erase. So let's move on.
Okay. So the rest of the evening, what are you guys going to do now that there's a body in the room?
I'm going to have Lance clean it up, or at least the blood, while I help Damien take care of the body.
Okay.
I'm going to let Raj know particularly. I'm assuming this guy has some kind of identification on him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him the name, and I'm going to put him on tracking him, tell him it was a hunter that we apprehended. He's got some kind of internet chat group or whatever, YouTubes that he has where he's talking with other hunters. So if you can look into that.
Well, do you have the information? What was the web address?
I don't have the web address.
Okay.
Did take his cell phone again? Just saying. Stuff like that.
Yes.
Is it in his cell phone?
I
don't have a technology score high enough to do anything like that, so.
Okay.
But just ask Melissa to do it.
Okay.
Well,
I will
well,
hand you a cell phone.
Since I am in the same room, since you suggested, get Raj or Melissa. Melissa's in the room. Ask her if you don't know.
Okay. Here is his cell phone. He has some kind of internet thingy that I don't understand. I would appreciate you looking into it since I don't know what the heck it is.
Yes, use the YouTubes and see if it's on there.
Not just videos of cats and twerks and...
Maybe he has the emails. Maybe there's something in there.
Sounds like a disease. He has the emails.
Is it contagious? These computer viruses could be deadly.
Oh. But since we have a masquerade breach expert here, how do we clean this up so that we don't get caught and make a mess?
She's gonna glare at Arthur and says, Your Highness, Your Highness, murder is hard to cover. And at this moment I don't particularly want to. Just get a lot of we just need a lot of Lysol. a lot of Lysol and then and possibly
the evidence of DNA.
No, you buy.
You see all the Archons in there with rubber gloves up to their elbows, like.
I'm just picturing the cleaning lady from Family Guy showing up, you know. No, you buy, you clean.
Yeah.
Well, Lance is the one cleaning the wall. Arthur's helping with the body.
Okay.
Which probably means he's wrapping it in a sheet or probably a comforter, since sheets leak more than comforters do.
Right.
And he's wrapping the head in. He's double bagging the head in the pillowcase.
Okay.
I will give them I can give the group a vanishing in mind's eye to get the body out of the hotel.
Okay.
Okay.
And try to burn it or other stuff.
Arthur will also chop the hands off.
Okay.
and he'll put them with the head,
Sure.
Okay.
since fingerprints and dental records. And then he will dispose of the head and hands separately from the dumpster. Or separately from the body. The head and the hands will end up in a barrel fire that some hobos are using,
Okay.
and the body will end up in a dumpster somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna smell evilly delicious then. That barrel fire.
At least it wasn't your room.
Oh man.
So you dump off the head in the barrel fire. That's not a problem. They don't stick around very long for that. Just gonna drop it in there. Mm-hmm.
And it's got a bloody pillowcase. We're just going to go ahead and warm ourselves at some other dumpster fire.
All right. Fair enough. So you get rid of that particular body and you put it in the dumpster. What is Damien doing all this? Because Arthur seems to have taken the lion's share of the body removal.
Yeah, I'm gonna be making sure. Was it Raj that was with us the last time at the bar? Or which
Yes,
one
I
was
believe. Yeah, when you guys went to the Ventro, he was the one you guys backed you up. So you could have brought him with. That's not a problem.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure I contact him, and I'm sure. Well, I know for a fact he knows how to dispose of a body and clean up afterwards. So I'm gonna trust him to call
It's
in
also
whatever people.
it's also technically not masquerade violation, anyways. Because Lance killed him with a sword. No.
I've
Yeah, I
killed
don't
lots of things with swords. I'm more worried about the blood fountain going off in my room and cleaning it up.
Yeah, that was kind of the bad part. I don't know if
A
the
police investigation into a murder is not helpful in our situation. Whether or not they see it as a masquerade breach or not.
yeah.
Yeah, killed with a sword instead of a gun is still out of the ordinary in modern times.
Well, which is why I yelled. Which is why Melissa kind of got angry at Arthur a little bit,
You
but
can get
not
it.
that
You're
much.
fine.
Not that much. So anyway, Lysol, fire, more cleaning.
So
Lots of
Raj, with a little help with Damien, gets rid of the body, but mostly Raj helps. Just kind of knows places to dump bodies. It's like we'll definitely need to make sure we're gone in a week or so. This could be problematic.
Oh, sorry. I thought it's Rook that's good at cleaning up after kills. Sorry. And Raj is tech.
Yeah. So with Raj and Damien, they remove the body, and Arthur gets rid of the head and hands. Lance is cleaning up Damien's room. There's other bedrooms that are rented out. You could just switch to another one. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that's probably wise. What is excuse me? What is Melissa and Natalia doing while those two are disposing and cleaning and whatnot?
I guess I'm going back to my room. I guess how late in the evening is it at this point?
Yeah, I mean you'd have
Just
some time to do something, but probably not a lot.
Since I'm not on body disposal, I'm gonna head back to my room and just check and see if I've heard anything from my sire or any of my other contacts.
All right, fair enough. No, not necessarily anything more than out of the ordinary. Let's put it that way. I'm sure you hear from him almost like every other day, practically, compared to everybody else, your sire. But it's probably pretty official business, just courier shit.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
probably
take care. I'll probably just take care of that before dawn.
I imagine it's a constant flow of information for her. So, what's Melissa doing?
I'm going to be. I'm done dumping the body, right? And cleaning.
You're
up.
not dumping the body, as far as I know.
Okay, since I'm not, I'm going to go outside and be sad. Go
Okay.
take a little walk since I'm sad. Hello?
Okay. All right. Takes her walk around the general area to reflect
Yeah.
upon how far she's come.
How she's failed in almost everything this session today. Or tonight?
Well, you know, fail is such a strong word.
It is. That's what she feels.
Okay. It's not been a good night, let's put it that way.
Especially for hunters.
Yeah, hunters, it's really gone pretty poorly. Hunters and angry mobs. And guy is named Ted, I guess. So we'll
asshole.
Yeah. So we'll go into the next night. At this point, since it's 9, I'm not sure we're gonna get into the clearing tonight. That might be a little too much.
Also, I think your screen froze.
Ba-da-ba-da-boo-da-da-da. Just for you.
You're there.
Okay.
Although
okay,
I think Arthur's
okay,
frozen
good
though.
now.
Jeremy, you still there, brother?
He's there. Okay. He's there.
Got any words in you?
I'm just so quiet.
Yeah, there you
go. Okay.
He's in
That
contemplation.
humanity loss. Pretty
Yeah,
hard.
it's like, something like that at least. So what's everyone doing the next evening? Lose a blood point?
I'm gonna feed and lay low because I obviously can't go back to the bar without being recognized as Ted.
Yeah, that's not gonna go well.
I'm going to. Well, I'll wait my turn.
But it's your turn. You volunteered your voice next, so it's you.
Okay. I'm actually going to look up names, and try to break into a house, break into one of those residents' addresses to feed.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Fair enough. Okay, right on. That would take you a little bit of time, but you can get full up at that point.
Because trying to be safe a bit.
Right. No, that makes sense. And her being particular enough, there's no need to do a roll. She can just be back up to full for the clearing the next evening. You can do some other stuff later potentially. But what is Natalia and Arthur doing?
Arthur will also go feed.
Okay. Natalia, you hit feeding as well?
Yeah, sure. And did I miss? I must have missed something. Why are we waiting to do the clearing for 2 nights?
It was 2 nights initially, is what I had just said for the in between before the clearing was scheduled. It's just a date that Lucen had picked. It's like it was 2 dates. It was 2 days out from the rant, which she figured was safe enough that those people would go missing but wouldn't alert anyone enough to make enough plans to get essentially enough intel together to figure out what they wanted to do. So the idea is over these couple nights, you guys are probably still meeting once or twice to figure things out.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, and there was there was some research that we wanted to do about the Toreador Primogen. Was that?
Yes, I think that was one of them. So
maybe she'll eat, and then maybe see if she can stake out this Toreador Primogen. And I wasn't sure if Damien wanted to join her for that, or was it Arthur?
Arthur was the one that Lucen.
Arthur, sorry.
Yep, Arthur can join.
Was I not also assigned to the Toreador Primogen?
To kill, yes. You and Arthur are supposed to be the ones to kill him when the night of clearing happens. But Lucen wanted some recon on him just to make sure, since Arthur was so particularly suspicious of him after the meeting. So this is recon, not initially kill.
Okay.
So if he wants to come, it's up to him. Or they're invitations, but it seems like it is Natalia and Arthur going right now. Is that correct?
Yep, that'll work.
Yeah, I'll let them take care of it. They have that crazy Auspex thing. And
Fair enough. What is Damien going to do with his time as they go and investigate?
Go hunting. I'm going to check up with Raj as far as what it is that he found with all the websites and information on the hunters.
We'll do that first because it's pretty easy as far as an information drop, as those two head to the havens that they believe he's at. He has a couple. The Torter Province has a couple havens, so you guys have to kind of hunt him down a little bit. So as you guys are in the process of doing that, we'll do this quick scene with Raj. You get your feeding done and meet up with Raj, maybe even at the club. He might have gone feeding with you, just for the sake of simplicity, when you said you were going to do that. And after you're done, you guys meet back up, and we'll just say you guys are going to kind of like a corner booth of some kind of jazzy bar, kind of dive bar, and somewhere in downtown Providence. And he's like, well, these websites that these people are on, they're just like social sites that people can meet. A lot of them seem to be just talking about supernatural shit, like ghosts and goblins and all sorts of dumb shit. But, I think a lot of these guys are legit. Some of them seem to really have encountered some of our kind. And, he'll bring up this kind of larger phone from what you've seen that kind of moves and acts like one of these kind of smartphones, and he just kind of shows you some of these sites and points out, this guy is close, but doesn't seem to be using the same kind of verbiage, and he just kind of goes over that kind of stuff. A lot of this stuff most people won't give a lot of credence to. It seems like it's just a place for everyone to meet, so the ones who know what they're talking about find each other a lot more easier now. But
are they local here, or
they're everywhere? And he kind of like shows some places that were, along the East Coast. Some of these websites don't really even have like a I don't know, home office or whatever you want to call it. Just people connecting on this interweb, and they're talking and trading information.
I remember they were talking about some possible hunters in the Boston area. I mean, can we use this to maybe find some of the ones that seem to know what they're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's a start, but I wouldn't be surprised if those Khmer have something on this already. But, yeah, let's, I've gotten some of it done. Not really much to do in this town, or since we're supposed to lay low.
Well, we won't have much to deal with we won't have to worry about hunters here in Providence for very much longer anyway.
What? Yeah, there's probably something worthwhile in here. We'll just maybe take a little bit.
I'll take your time.
So you guys, for the kind of remainder of the evening, try to figure out that information, as Raj also tried to teach you how the internet works, which is very infuriating for him. And at one point, he cracks the iPad as he's trying to show you something, and you're just like not understanding how to swipe. How do I swipe? I don't understand. He like actually cracks the iPad. Just fucking swipe. I'm sorry, Lord. I kind of just swipe.
I'll offer to buy him a new iPad.
Left to right. Okay, that's kind of your guys' evening. Right. I seem to have lost Jeremy. So we'll just check in quick with Grace here. Melissa, after you get the feeding done, it will take you a reasonable amount of time to get that done. And probably set it up so that the next night or two, if you needed blood, it wouldn't take as long. And so after you get that done, what would you like to do?
I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Since I have media influence, and we have just the night after it's going to be declaring. I want to make sure that the media would be doing something. The media would be paying attention to other stuff, and not in Providence. I want to get that done too.
Okay, why don't you give me I don't know, a manipulation plus your influence. This probably sounds pretty good. Charisma, if it's a little better, either way, it's fine. And just give me a roll.
Charisma, okay. Again, I can't roll, so.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. So charisma is what?
So, charisma is 5, and media influence is 5, so 10. Okay.
So with that kind of role, you'll talk to people and make sure that if anything really crazy comes out of Providence for the next few nights, that it really gets squashed or at least pushed back so it gets kind of lost in the wave of information that might follow it.
Yeah. Good.
But with 3 successes, I want to say with that 1 canceling out, that's pretty good. Your province won't have much information, much scandalous information coming out of it for the next few days.
Whew.
Which also squashes all the weird shit that happened at the club last night.
That's good.
I'm glad. Other than that, is there any other clubs where Kindred might hang out?
You have a list of those. You have a good list of the Elysiums, plural.
Okay, because the Pulse is not.
Pulse was not an Elysium, correct.
Yeah.
It was not Elysium. So I see what your distinction is. You wouldn't have as many, I guess, gathering places for the Kindred. You might know a few from the people you've talked to, more than what your list would have. Some of them might actually, I will say some of them probably are Elysium, but a lion's share of them probably are not. You would know where a fair amount of them are at this point. There might be a few you wouldn't know, but those might be clan or someone's particular domain or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look for all the ones on my list that might go to, and that's that. Hope just to make sure. And that's all.
So you want to make sure what exactly? I didn't just get that last part.
Well, I want to make sure where the ones on my list are going to hang out now that the Pulse is probably being investigated.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're trying to extrapolate all of the places that would likely be targeted by those people. Am I getting that right? Am I close?
Where they might run back to if by force of habit.
Oh, well, I think most of them have primary havens. A lot of the vampires in Providence don't seem to have multiple havens.
Oh, okay. Oops. Okay.
It's only the older vampires. And not even most of the Primogen Council even has 2, or not even many havens. They're all 1. They're kind of silly here. They're all silly here.
Okay, I just want to make sure if they do, then no running away.
Right. You can double check that.
And that's just some busy work I want to do, just because I'm still kind of rattled. Yeah, because the hunters are around.
Yep. So she keeps herself busy trying to forget about the murder and the fact that the individuals who seem to have hounded her for the last 20 years or so seem to be in town.
Yep.
That's problematic. So
So I'm sorry. I would make sure to give her that license plate that I got, if it would be helpful to her, to let her know I forgot. I would mention to her that I followed those people and got that license plate number if she needed it, and the number of people and that sort of thing, so she knew who was following her.
Okay, I will say, yeah, okay, I owe you one. Thanks. Hello?
Yep, she can track that information without too much difficulty.
I'm just worried that they reported. I'm just worried that they might have reported it stolen already. But thank you, anyways. Thank you, anyways. I owe you one.
Be cautious.
I dropped something.
That's it.
So, since we're still waiting for Camille to take Grace, did you want to try to follow up on that information?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up on that. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna give to Priscilla, and then I'm going to track the license plates.
You track them without too much difficulty. They aren't reported stolen, although that's not uncommon for a hunter to do, especially if they're low key. But no, this one's registered to someone. like register somebody in Texas, which seems a little strange. It's like Texas license plates. And so you're trying to figure out what's going on, and with that information, you could get the LoJack on the car as well. Though
Okay.
it'll take a little bit more doing to get that processed. Would you like to try to locate them? Since Jeremy hasn't shown back up.
I'm just gonna try. I'm just gonna try to keep track of their pattern, and since they're only going for me, I'm just gonna try to stay out of their way.
Okay. Okay, that's easy enough. So we'll start a little bit since Jeremy has to come back. You both, we'll assume, are taking two different cars to get there. You're not necessarily carpooling.
Okay.
And you arrive at what you're assuming is where he's at. You both have checked out his first two havens, his primary haven and one of his secondary havens. And this one is a penthouse suite in a downtown area. It has a lot of light exposure, so it's one of those kind of very postmodern kind of places. So it's probably not the best for a vampire. At least not one that doesn't seem to have any over precautions as you arrive there and kind of tell by the building. I mean, it's clearly not owned by a vampire, or vampires probably don't live there. As the protection for most of the windows probably won't cut it. You can just kind of tell from the outside. But this does seem to be kind of a hiding hole for him. And the lights for the penthouse or that particular floor on the on this kind of well-to-do tower is lit, so someone is home.
What's the security like on the building itself?
It's pretty tight. There is someone on the front door, and it does look like there's a parking garage, though it's a gated parking garage, and there is likely other doors around, but this is just the initial kind of block or so down the street, kind of looking at the front.
Okay. And it looks like human security to me. I don't see any supernatural human security at all.
We'll just say when you roll for on the fry in the front desk to confirm if he's supernatural or human or whatever, he's definitely human.
Okay. At what floor is the penthouse on?
We'll say it's on the 15th floor.
Does it look too difficult to do? If I do a vanish, would it be too hard to get into the building?
You might have to wait
Till somebody else
someone,
comes in.
and there's not a lot of traffic because it's so high profile that the people coming in, kind of the few traffic come right to the garage and go in. There's very little foot traffic going into the tower is the problem. Or I guess really the way to frame it is no foot traffic is coming in the evening. All of the traffic has been going underneath.
Underneath. And would it be too difficult to pass in with a vehicle, behind a vehicle?
It might be a little difficult, but you could do it. I mean, with Vanish, it's doable. There's enough security cameras where to get in behind and still remain stealthed might be a little tricky, but I mean, it's designed so that if someone's hopping after that, they would see it. So it's kind of
right, but they're not supposed to see me, period, right? So if I just
the people in the car won't see you, but the person watching the video will see you. It doesn't affect the
video.
It does.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying.
Right. So when you wouldn't go by, the guy who's standing at the door, the doorway wouldn't notice. The people in the car wouldn't notice. The only person who would notice is the guy in the control room.
If he was watching and paying attention.
Or did they fix that now with Vanish and 20th anniversary that you can hide from machines now?
I don't know.
Let's double check that real quick. So now I started remembering, like, thinking that there was something about that changed.
Doesn't really say.
Let's see. Since obviously clouds the minds of viewers, vampires cannot hide their presence from electronic or mechanical devices. Videos and photo cameras, for example, capture the vampire's images accurately. So they didn't change that. They made it a lot nicer with carrying things on you, is what I think I'm confusing it for. Before that was like harder to do while obfuscated.
I have been clear with my companions about my whole not being able to be videotaped or photographed or
Yes, I think so.
anything like that, just for the record.
Which breaking in makes it better, but made it bad when he was walking around out front of the club. People taking pictures of him. That was when it was really bad. Like,
That's why I thought no flash photography.
Why is he not there? I know how people always respect people when they tell them to do something. So how are you getting in, Carla?
Well, maybe there is security where the vehicles are going in.
Just a camera, and then they would have to badge in or badge and punch in a code.
Oh, okay. Can I use and Arthur's not here, I take it, at this point.
Well, he would be. Just Jeremy's like MIA right now.
Okay.
We
I'm
can
trying
wait for him,
to.
but we just be like, we can get to. Why don't we take like a 5-minute break if you want to wait for him? I don't want to force you into doing something and like, you do crazy shit because he's not here when you could just do something simple. So it's fine. Why don't we just take a quick break and see if he shows up? Not a big deal.
I was say I could entrance the security guard. I could put a mask on and entrance the security guard, I suppose.
That is an option. And you're gonna try to go up to him and like, what's the angle?
I'm a high priced prostitute for one of the people in the building.
Okay.
I'll make you holler.
And I want him to ring me up, basically.
Okay. So
without telling anybody, of course. It's very discreet, of course. It has to be incredibly discreet. So
all right. So since you haven't done much noise scenes, we'll do that scene. So he's the bellman's just standing at the door. There's ever so often either a couple or a lone person making their way home or to work or to wherever is passing by the tower. But otherwise, you can saunter on up. Are you just doing a normal, regular old mask?
Yes, but yeah, masking and very high class prostitute, of course, in that way. So a very, very beautiful woman, dressed very, sexy, but not overtly like streetwalky kind of.
Well, she has to spend blood to make herself beautiful because she's a Nosferatu.
Right. So I'll do that.
Go ahead and spend a couple of blood traits. We'll just say you can spend 2 and make her 4. It's fine for this. I won't make you roll an entrancement since it's immortal. You can just hit him with the stick. But you're kind of walking up. You hit him with entrancement. He gets a big old grin on his face as you walk up. It's like, good evening, miss. How can I help you?
Well, I'm hoping you can help me. I have an appointment upstairs that I have to attend to this evening. I'm
Oh,
just hoping that you can ring me through.
well, I haven't heard anything. Can you just who is it?
Well,
I'll go call him
it's
real
really
quick.
not the kind of appointment you want advertised, if you know what I mean.
Well, right, but I can at least call him and tell him and find out. I got to verify if you're supposed to come up or not.
But then I have to tell you who it is, and then you know, and then I've given away his secret. You see how that is? So if you could just let me walk on up and give him a little surprise, it'll be all on the hush hush.
Well, I guess. What was your name?
Bubbles.
Okay, Bubbles.
And she giggles.
Well, I think I can help you out. I don't think it'll be a problem. Just as long as you, get in and get out. Keep it all hush hush. Maybe you can help me out sometime.
Yeah, well, maybe I could stop by on the way back out.
And he kind of immediately opens the door for you when you say that.
And I wander into the elevators and wait for one to take me upstairs.
Okay. Well, you can just hit the floor that the guy's on. That's not a problem.
Okay. There's no magic button stuff going on in here. You can't get to certain floors or anything without a key.
No. They're assuming that the front guy is going to be enough to prevent someone from at least getting in the elevator.
Okay, and Arthur's back.
Hey, Arthur's back. So Arthur can just be obfuscated the whole time and just come in with you. It's fine.
Okay.
That's just the simplest way to take care of that.
Yeah, he loves obfuscation.
Yep, see? So the Nosferatu just charmed the front the doorman, thank you, to let her in under the guise of a lady of the evening who wished discretion for her beau, and she had forgotten to get clearance or whatever, so she managed to charm her way in. And you just snuck in through. You guys get into the elevator and hit the button for the 15th floor, which is the 15th penthouse, and within a few seconds you come out. Bing! It's a little hallway with a door. It's it kind of wraps around.
Yeah, and I banish us both now before we come out of the elevator.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I also have fairly high stuff.
Oh, so he's okay. He doesn't mean it. We're both. He banishes himself, then that's cool.
Yeah,
I think
6. So.
Yeah, you're both at the same level of obfuscate.
Oh, okay.
So you both mask or not mask. I'm sorry. Now you got me doing it, Carla. You both.
There's my roll.
Visible yourself. You guys vanish, and Okay.
Vanish from
Yeah, it's fine for right now. You guys come out of the elevator, and like I said, it's just a hallway. Looks like there's at least a camera on the initial doorway area here, but it's just a hallway that leads to stairwells. There looks like there's a side area where maybe some maintenance people could go in.
I will try to.
That's right. The cameras are back. Damn it. The cameras can still see us both, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can.
I guess one of us has to. That's more difficult, isn't it? Can we do something about the cameras?
We can watch their line of sight and probably try to sneak in with a blind spot. If they're the kind that go side to side.
No, these are fixed cameras. They're not cheap. They would have enough money to have cameras cover every angle.
Oh, then we could slide along the wall and stay out of their line of sight, probably. Maybe.
So the idea is you want to sneak in where?
His rooms, I think, his suite.
Right. So, like I said, hallway. There's a door. Has a fixed camera on it to watch it. There's a doorway that leads to the stairwell, and then another doorway that wraps around that likely leads to like a service entrance or a back, like their effective back door for the penthouse.
Okay. Did we get a room key from the guy, front desk guy?
No, he just let us out.
Okay. I have larceny of 2 and intelligence of 6. Is it likely I could find a way to try and get past the lock without destroying the door?
You might be able to. It'll be a little difficult. That's assuming that the tumbler on it is pretty basic and there's nothing else you need to do to it.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it would be an actual magnetic key or if it would be the basic type of lock.
Yeah, that's a good question. You probably won't know until you step out of the elevator and search the door, which I'm assuming you didn't do as soon as you were worried about the cameras.
Yeah. So the camera's gonna see the elevator no matter what, then, right?
Yeah, that's a pretty, for like high profile places, there's definitely a camera on the elevator to the front door of this place, for sure.
Oh, so the cameras have already seen us then.
As soon as you would step out, well, as soon as you walked in, the camera saw you.
All right, then I'm just going to keep going since they've already seen us.
Okay.
Watching the cameras aren't going to see us, and we can stop at the security office on the way out and try to grab the videos.
The watching will definitely see you. They will. Nothing about the cameras will fool the viewer. So, you know, the one thing you have about it at this point is nothing you guys are doing is suspicious, so no one's doing anything.
Right. Yeah, then I'll just go ahead and walk down the hall towards the room.
Okay. So, okay, so are you walking to the back door, or are you going to the front door, or are you going to the stairs? So when you say you're going back and around, is you going to the back door? I'm just being clear.
I'll leave that up to the Nosferatu. This is her gig. I'm just backup.
Let's go to the back door.
Okay, so you guys wander back and around and head to the back door. It has a stairway that's close by to it. It takes a little bit to get near it. It's probably near whatever passes for the ventilation for most of the penthouse is where this door is.
Okie dokie. Well, and we don't really want to alert this guy that we're here because we're just trying to really keep an eye on him right now, right? We're not supposed to be taking him out.
Yeah, essentially. I will use my heightened senses to listen and see if I hear anybody in the room.
Your heightened senses near the ventilation shaft make it really difficult to hear inside the apartment.
What if I stick my ear up against the door?
Not any better. The droning of the vents makes it too hard to hear.
Okay. We've come this far, we might as well go in.
Kick in the door.
I was going to
Archons, motherfucker, freeze!
I don't think we want to give ourselves away at this point, right? We were just supposed to be observing
Listen to the
this guy.
Listen to
We
the
could
Nosferatu,
listen to him look at the
please.
next thing and stake this place out and see if he comes and goes.
Right. Let's do that.
Now, one thing I will say, and we can do a little retconning because Jeremy wasn't here for it, is I did tell Carla that the lights were on in the penthouse, so the likelihood of him being here or someone being here was pretty high, as you both had just checked the last two of his havens and there was nothing there.
Okay, if
So
that's
I apologize for that information. That may have changed a lot of what you wanted to do. That's my mistake.
if that's the case, I would not have gotten off the elevator in the first place. What I would have done is set up a post where I could see if he was coming and going from the penthouse.
Okay, I'll give you that retcon. That was my mistake.
I would have. I might have even gone up to the room, but then I would have stepped around the corner away from the away from where the camera could see me, and I would just basically post up and wait.
Okay. Go ahead and try to give me a dex stealth to sneak by the camera from the elevator to the side door. I assume you both are going to try to do this?
Yeah.
Dex stealth.
Even with 2 ones, I got 2 successes.
Boom, motherfucker.
What's the difficulty?
7.
Then I got 1 success.
I didn't.
So you kind of skirt by. You both try to skirt by the camera as you get out of the elevator. You're both reasonably convinced you aren't caught since you didn't botch. And you make your way around the corner and just wait.
Oh, I do get one more, actually.
Oh, okay.
Let me roll one more. There. I get 10.
So you guys are waiting by the door.
Yep.
Waiting.
On the corner from the door so we can see if he comes and goes.
Okay. You're waiting.
Do we hear anything in there? Anything from where we're at? Can we hear any noise in the apartment?
No.
Then Aura said
No music playing or anything?
There might be, but this is a fairly expensive apartment. The walls are not actually paper thin, so you wouldn't actually really hear much that's going on inside.
Okay.
I will stay close enough to the door to touch the handle and use Spirit Sight or Spirit Touch.
Are you doing this? I assume you're doing this at the side door, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to Spirit Touch to the side door doorknob. Go ahead and give me a. Was there a roll associated with that? I think there was, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think it's Perception Occult, maybe?
Possibly. Allegedly. Apparently.
Sorry, the Aura Colors takes up the entire page I'm looking at, so I gotta... There it is, Perception Empathy. Difficulty is determined by the age of the impressions of the mental and spiritual strength of the person in the event that left them.
Oh, right. Go ahead and give me a roll.
Alright, let's not botch.
Not botch, yay.
Alright, so...
Don't botch.
I'm not sure it's going to help Grace, but I think the sentiment is appreciated.
I'm just kind of...
33178.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you touch the handle, and that familiar sense of ennui comes back. That overpowering ennui comes back when you touch that handle. And you see that old man again.
Well, I think we found the owner of the Jade.
Think he's here, huh? No, this is his place.
At the very least,
Definitely, then.
this is the one that feels so horribly alone and old and done with it.
Well, do you want to wait here and see if he comes out, or should we just wait till tomorrow night when you guys are going to, maybe this will be the first place you come back to, I assume?
We can put Lance on daytime duty, stake out, and if he leaves, we'll know where to find him. I think we should go before we're noticed.
I think you're right. I don't want to alert whoever it is to what's going on.
Neither do I.
So y'all make a quick but casual retreat. You walk casually out, and get into your. I'm sorry. No, it's fine. You guys, that's not too hard for you guys. You're practiced enough not to leave in a hurry and to look like you've done something wrong. You're just like, you just kind of leave without much fuss and mush. The guy at the front, though, he is a little put out when you don't stick around.
I blow him a kiss as I leave.
That's all right.
She blows him a kiss. I give him a $100 bill.
All right.
I
He seems
think
a little bit better. He's a
Nice.
little confused by you coming out with her, but he doesn't seem bothered.
well, thank you for your discussion. The appointment was. I enjoyed the appointment with the lady of the night, and then I'll walk out after her.
All right.
So you guys make your way to your cars and head on out. Is there anything Melissa and Damien would like to do while they were scouting out the penthouse?
Mentally prep for the killing.
Does he like meditate with a bunch of candles or something?
It's more, wet stoning my sword. And
Okay. Fair enough. It's Arthur who would be like kneeling in front of the altar with all the candles doing the midnight vigil. I'm sorry.
That's definitely him.
Yeah, I've definitely got the characters mixed up. My mistake.
I have a certain set of skills.
Yes, right. Melissa?
I do. I'm actually just generally looking around to see if there's anything out of place. Oh my. Okay, not again.
It's just because it's hilarious. Your phone. You were saying before the phone fell over on you?
I'm just generally walking around to look for anything out of place. That seems
Okay.
out of place.
It seems out of place where?
Just in general around, like maybe in the back, maybe for any bomb, like say any place that I can put, like say any escape routes, anything.
Where are you talking about? Aren't you back at your?
hunt, or maybe.
You're talking about your
or
own
maybe
home hotel room? Ways to escape
It
your own
depends
hotel
on
room?
where. It depends. Yeah, I have no clue where. You're placing me.
Well, it's just like a day's inn, so there's maybe a second floor, but most of the place has been rented out, so there's not a lot of traffic. The only traffic is.
Okay,
the
I'm
rules.
just gonna. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna double check the room. I'm just gonna check the room, take a look at the room and how the how the just killing last night had progress. Either I don't well, progress. Is any police there? I hope not. Just that.
Oh yeah, I mean, there hasn't been any discovery of a body or.
Okay.
The cleaning
so
staff of the Days Inn is entirely dominated, so they're not really. It's not really a problem there.
Okay, and I'm just gonna check if I could still find bloodstains. I hope not.
No, Lance is actually pretty skilled at cleaning up blood.
Okay, I'm just want to double check.
Okay.
He's had a few years to take care of that now.
So the La Sombra is sharpening his sword as the Ventrue is double checking the room, making sure there isn't anything left behind. Arthur and Natalia will arrive within an hour or so. Do you guys want to interact with them at all? Are you guys doing anything in particular?
Just check in with Damien for the cleanse tomorrow night. Let him know where we found his target.
Excellent.
And that just fill him in on that, and that was it
Okay.
for me anyway.
Camera shouldn't be too much of a problem tomorrow.
Hope so.
What's Arthur doing?
Arthur will at this point instruct Lance to go and watch the place, and then he himself will get ready to get some rest.
All right. Well, unless there's something in particular someone wants to do, I think we'll end it there as the the evening at Pulse ended up taking a little bit longer than I had anticipated. Everyone can get 4 eat for the evening. Everyone was trying to do some role playing and dealing with humanity. Let's see. Timing-wise, I know the 30th was out because of Dragon Con. Do we want to try for the 6th of September?
Sure.
6th of September. Wait, who's gonna be at Dragon Con?
Right there. Jeremy.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It does.
So 6th of. I was gonna ask, how about Seth? Because he's not here.
He told me that he didn't foresee any problems. It was just this weekend something had cropped up on him. He didn't even know it was going to happen. Some family came in earlier this week or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just didn't know it was going to happen, basically.
Okay, then otherwise I'm fine. I'm good with it too.
Okay. So, Dan?
I don't foresee any problems yet.
Okay. But the 6th is okay?
Should be, yeah.
Okay. All right, we'll shoot for that. If Seth just seems like it just doesn't work for him, maybe we'll figure something else out. But again, I didn't get anything from him, or he didn't imply that there'd be any kind of constraints on his schedule. It was just something that had kind of popped up on him. So we'll shoot for the 6th. If you have any questions or whatnot, let me know. But the next session, we'll pick up with the clearing of Providence.
Excellent. Sweet.
All right.
Guys.
Well, it was great seeing everybody. Have a good night.
Good.
Yeah.
You too.
Bye, guys.